Yo, what is up guys? This is Pedro here, and in today's video I will be bringing you guys another Washington football team 2021 NFL mock draft. And last week I did a trade back mock draft, and this week we will be doing a trade up mock draft. So make sure you guys stick around to see who I end up trading up for. So if you guys are new, make sure to subscribe for Washington and NFL content. So let's get right into the video. And before you guys say, oh, why are you trading up? That's not realistic, or saying that we shouldn't do it, I'm just going through all of the different options. I did a trade back mock draft last week, so now we're doing a trade up mock draft. So, this has been picking up some steam. There's been reports out there that if a quarterback they like maybe Justin Fields or Trey Lance, starts to slip past, maybe 5, 6, 7, they might trade up into the top 10. So that's what I did today in this mock draft. I traded with the Broncos to the 9th overall pick, and we obviously gave up the 19th pick this year, and also to match up the draft points, we also gave up a first next year and this our second third round pick this year, and we also got a 7th round pick in return. So that kind of evens out the draft value. The points. So right here, if you look at who's available, really the best quarterback available is obviously Trey Lance. And Trey Lance, Washington is definitely intrigued by him. Michael Lombardi already said that. John Keim has also said that. And Trey Lance is a very intriguing prospect. Obviously, I'm going to take him, but John Keim and others have said that if they could possibly trade up into the top 10 and take another prospect like a Micah Parsons, possibly a linebacker, or even a tackle, if one of them start to fall. So something interesting right there. But I hope if they do trade up and there's a quarterback there that they they take him instead of going for a tackle or a linebacker. So here, Trey Lance, we're going to go ahead and take him. If you look at Trey Lance's stats, this past season he only played one game. It was that showcase game because of the level of college football he was at. They only played spring football this past season. In 2019, he had a really good year, had a 67% completion percentage, 2,800 yards, 28 touchdowns, and no interceptions. Very impressive. Only got sacked 12 times. He also ran for 1,100 yards and 14 touchdowns. So he had a really good year. He's got a good frame, 6'4", 226 pounds, and he just has a bunch of potential. They ran a pro style offense there at North Dakota State, so he is going to be somewhat ready for the NFL, but the lack of experience might make it better for him to sit his whole rookie year, or maybe half of it like Tua Tagovailoa did. But I think sitting out his rookie year would be better to learn behind in this case Ryan Fitzpatrick. Some of the knocks on him I already kind of said. He hasn't played much, and same thing could be said for someone like Mac Jones. Also doesn't have as many starts, but Trey Lance hasn't, he doesn't have as many pass attempts because a lot of these games they were blowing them out, so he didn't have to pass that much. Also, his team was just one of the most dominant teams at that level, double A, and his receivers were almost always wide open. If you watch some of the film, there are some great throws with anticipation, but there's a lot of throws that the receiver is just wide open. So that's just something I would be a little bit concerned about. But I definitely like Trey Lance, and if he's there at 9, I definitely wouldn't be upset if Washington traded up for him. He's a really good guy, very hard worker, and I trust Ron Rivera, Martin Mayhew, and Marty Herney to get their guy and develop them properly. So now let's get into our second round pick. Okay, so now our second round pick, we have a few different options right here. We could go offensive line to protect our new quarterback, or at least protect him in the future. We'll see if he plays or not in year one. Or we could address the need on defense like linebacker or even safety, though Richie Grant is not available, who would be the top safety after Trayvon Moehrig. So right here, I really like Jabril Cox. Nick Bolton is here at 71. I don't think this is realistic, so I'm not going to take him. I think he's going to be gone at the end of the first round, early second at latest, so I don't think that's realistic, so I'm not going to take him. But I do really like Jabril Cox. I think he's one of the better linebackers in this class. He's very, very good in coverage, one of the best coverage linebackers in this class, and it's turning in passing league, so you need linebackers that can cover, and he can do that. Kadarius Toney is available. I'm not sure if he's going to be here, but also I love the player. I just don't really like the fit in Washington. I think him and Curtis Samuel are very similar, players, so I don't really see the fit here. I think he is a great player, so I'm going to go ahead and take Jabril Cox. I think he's a great linebacker, very good in coverage, like I said. Played at North Dakota State for his first few years, so back-to-back North Dakota State players that we drafted, and then played at LSU this past season where, he had a sack, 3 interceptions at a very high level. He's got, solid 6'4", 231 pounds, probably even going to put a little bit more weight on. So he's got a solid frame, solid build, and good in coverage. Could, work a little bit on that run game. Not really a threat, off the edge to sack the quarterback like someone like Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah is. But I do like him as a linebacker, especially in coverage, and that would be a great fit for a defense, and I think this is good value in the middle of the second round. Okay, so now with our only third round pick, because we did trade our second third round pick to the Broncos for the 9th overall pick. So right here, we got extremely lucky. Liam Eichenberg is here at 74, and he's ranked as the 61st player in this class. I personally think he's going to go in that second round range, maybe a little bit lower, but I think this is a place where we probably would have to trade up, maybe give up like a 4th round pick and what our number 74 to move up a little bit to get him. But this is just too good to pass up. Liam Eichenberg could come in there, start at left tackle right away, was a 3-year starter at Notre Dame, which produces great tackles and guards, and would be a guy that, we ideally would want him to play left tackle, but he obviously could transition into guard if we did need him to do that. So I think this would be a good pickup. I don't think it's, really possible at 74, but if we, add in like a 4th and a 6th round pick or something, I think we can move up some spots and get him. So I really, really like this pick right here. Okay, so now we are in the 4th round of the NFL draft. We have, a few different options right here for the Washington football team, but I do think we need to address the tight end position. I really like Sammis Reyes, and I think he has a chance to make the roster, but we definitely need to add to that position in the draft. I think probably earlier than this, because I don't think we're actually going to trade up for a quarterback. So I do think that we will have both of our 3rd round picks to use on maybe a tight end or another player. But I really like Trey McKitty here in the 4th round as a high upside guy, tight end out of Georgia. They really didn't use him right this year at Georgia. Had 6 catches for 108 yards, has a really good, frame, 6'5", 245 pounds. If you look at 2019, 2018 was a little bit more productive, had 250 yards, 241 yards. The next year, they didn't use him right, and he has a lot of potential, very athletic, has some, high upside, and if he can learn under Logan Thomas for a year, I think he can develop into a very good tight end. So I think it's a good pick here in the 4th round, and let's go to our last 5th round pick. Okay, so now with our 5th round pick, and I think we do, it would be a good idea to possibly draft a safety this year in the draft. Could be early, in that 2nd to 3rd round if we really like a guy, maybe Richie Grant, Andre Sisco, maybe in the 3rd or 4th round. But, Cameron Curl last year was a 7th round pick, and he ended up being one of the best defensive rookie players of this past season. So you can get some good safeties in the mid to late rounds, and I think Richard LeCounte from Georgia would be a really good pick. They have him ranked as the 202nd player, but I think he's going to go in that 5th round range where we're at, maybe in the 4th, probably in the 5th round, and I really like his potential upside. Like I said, played at Georgia this past season, had 3 interceptions, 26 tackles. He's about 5'11", 190 pounds, and has some really good upside for us at the safety position. I think this would be a great pick. Doesn't necessarily have to start right away at the safety position, but eventually could, go into the rotation. Eventually, we'll see what happens with Landon Collins and Cameron Curl, who plays a strong safety position. I really do hope it's Cameron Curl, though. So that is it for my mock draft. We traded up, got Trey Lance, then we got Jabril Cox in the 2nd round, Liam Eichenberg in the 3rd round. And then in the 4th round, we got Trey McKitty, and then in the 5th, Richard LeCount. So I think overall it was a solid draft, and next week, I'm not sure if it'll be my final mock draft, but the next couple of mock drafts should be 7-round mock drafts, and I will try to be as realistic as possible, especially as the rumors start to, flow in. So I appreciate you guys watching. So let me know what you guys think. Subscribe if you guys are new. Turn on those notifications so you never miss a video, and peace.